Welcome back, and we continue our coverage for this concert today, celebrating Egypt as a homeland of peace. And we are joined by Miss Monica William, international relations expert. Miss Monica, good evening, and thanks for being with us.
Good evening. Thank you so much.
Well, let's start with the Egyptian stance supporting Palestinian rights, not only from 2025 and after the October 7th, but starting from year 1948, and where the Egyptian stance, refusing the displacement of Palestinians from their homeland, and how far that was the cornerstone of the Egyptian stance, supporting Palestinian rights and helping reach out at the very end a peace deal that depended on the Egyptian point of view.
Indeed, at this moment, Egypt is providing logistically assistance and specialized equipment to help identify the budget of Israel hostages in order to facilitate the implementation of the going agreement, for instance. And Egypt has always been and continues to be the strongest advocate for the Palestinian cause. It has undertaken a comprehensive approach that combines military and relief efforts with active diplomacy, both of which were clearly reflected. Egypt's leading role at the Sharm el-Sheikh summit, as you mentioned. Moreover, Egypt has worked to perceive a national unity and internal cohesion, recognize the strong and unified domestic front in the cornerstone of its ability to act effectively on the regional stage and to continue defending peace, justice, and legitimacy and rights of Palestinian people, of course.
Yes, and we can also talk about the Egyptian efforts, continuous actually Egyptian efforts to unify Palestinians and have one Palestinian front in front of the occupying Israeli power that can help the full implementation of the ceasefire.
Of course, Egypt's ongoing efforts to unify the Palestinian front represent one of the most crucial and consistent pillars of its foreign policy towards the Gaza crisis. Cairo has long recognized that achieving a lasting peace and effective political settlement cannot be accomplished without internal Palestinian reconciliation. Yesterday, meetings of the Palestinian factions in Cairo was another testament to Egypt's sustained commitment to this goal. By hosting the talks and facilitating dialogue among the group, Egypt is not only promoting national unity among Palestinians, but also paving the way for the practical implementation of a ceasefire arrangement and post-war reconstruction plan. This effort is the path towards stability by ensuring that the Palestinian position is unified and coordinated across the Palestinian front, allow for clearer communication with international mediators and strengthen the legitimacy of any future political process. So Egypt's mediation, grounded in neutrality, trust, and long experience, which help bridge deep division, mitigate tension, and translate temporary trust into long-term solutions.
Yes, and Egypt is also using its experience in negotiations, and you know, always Prime Minister Badr Abdel stresses the need to full and complete implementation of the ceasefire, as well as the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. How far we can talk about Egyptian efforts in that field?
Egypt has a long, as we mentioned before and earlier, that have a long history to mapping and security led by Minister of Foreign Affairs and on the presidential level. There is a lot of effort to achieve and attain ceasefire in Gaza from the very beginning of the escalation. Cairo takes the initiative to open channels of communication with all relevant parts of Israel and Palestinian faction and international mediators to displace the situation and to prevent further civilian suffering. This proactive Egyptian diplomacy reflects Cairo's broader strategy to prevent the conflict from spreading, to stabilize the region, and to perceive the perspective of political solution. Egypt's credibility in that built over decades as a trusted mediator enabled it to engage effectively with all sides, even amid the most important critical point, and to serve as the center axis around which ceasefire discussions evolve. And as we see, for instance, today, the Homeland of Peace celebration, which carried dual significant its commencement history, historic victory in the October and the diplomatic success at the recent Sharm el-Sheikh summit. So the timing of the two events was far from consistent. This reflects the powerful political and symbolic messages about Egypt's continuity of strength from military victory to diplomatic leadership indeed. And if we can try to read the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi speech, he, of course, he knows that Sinai is part of and so project stability at the time of regional uncertainty. He also signals that Egypt's patient diplomacy and consistent efforts are beginning to yield tangible process towards de-escalation and sustainable ceasefire.
So, Ms. Monica William, international relations expert, thanks for being with us. So that was our coverage of the concert attended by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. It was called Homeland of Peace, and always Egypt will remain Homeland of Peace. Thanks for following us. Please stay tuned.